Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be reviewing The Gathering Storm by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. Going to kick it off with a spoiler alert. This is going to be a spoiler-filled review for this book and all the books prior, so don't go any further if you're worried about spoilers. First thing I got to say, hats off to Brandon Sanderson. I thought that he did a tremendous job. That forward at the beginning of the book, really beautiful. Like really, if you read the book and it did not come with that forward at the beginning, I can't imagine it didn't. But find it. It was very, very touching. I think that Brandon Sanderson was the perfect person to finish Robert Jordan's masterpiece. And so, just to jump right in, I thought that Egwene did a great job establishing herself as a leader in this story. Like, I mean, her becoming the Amerlin at the end was just perfect. She's already the Amerlin of the Rebels, but becoming the full Amerlin, loved it, loved it. Varen's reveal to being Black Aja, oh my gosh, that has to be my favorite Dark Friend reveal of the entire series. I mean, just how wow, because Varen's always been there. I mean, Varen's been there since book two. She has been like very very involved. And so that just finding that out, I immediately was like, I can't wait to reread this and see all the parts of Varen and have this like double meaning. And then when I realized that she wasn't gonna live and that she had basically played this like double agent, that made me so sad. That like just broke. There are two parts in the story that just broke my heart. That was one of them. That was just like, oh, but I mean, the good that she did. I mean, but then carry that over to Egwene, her being able to point out all those Black Aja, I thought that was great. Oh, also, let me just say, the fact that Varen, like us realizing that she was Black Aja by talking about Egwene, what Egwene was wearing. Maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but I wonder if that was like a subtle nod to the fact that like Robert Jordan describes clothes like a lot, and so like the fact that by Varen saying that, you instantly knew, oh, that's not right. And so like maybe I'm just playing too into that, but it was just like a nod to the fact that clothing is described so frequently that that could be a tip off that someone is not maybe a dark friend. But yeah, Egwene spotting all the Black Aja, loved that. Elida out of the picture, loved it. Egwene at the top, I love it. But then the other main takeaway from this story was Rand. I mean, first, let me just say the whole I can imagine that a lot of people probably didn't like that whole like spanking scene with Cadsuane and Semerhaj. Probably saying that name wrong, but I don't know. For me personally, I was like that's seemed to be something that Robert Jordan talked about all the time. So it actually seemed almost in character that would happen. I thought it was obviously strange, but I thought that it's been strange since the beginning. But anyway, then her getting free and then like capturing Rand and choking Min. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is dark. And but then like not really sure what happened there, but he was able to break free. Not entirely sure. Something evil happened is the only thing that I could take away from that. And that just sent Rand on a spiral. I tell you, when Rand killed Grendel, and like he killed all those people with the balefire, women included, I was just like, oh, this is a darker side of Rand. And I feel like that was encapsulated so perfectly with Nynaeve and Min's reaction. They were like, oh my gosh, like what? This is not you, Rand. This is like this spiral. We're seeing it. This spiral happen in real time, and it's just getting so much worse. And like I mean, from a character perspective, I thought that it was really really good. And then obviously Rand in banishing Cadsuane and saying like he had the line where he's like, do you think I could like just kill you if I wanted to? Like if I just willed it, like would the pattern just do it? I'm like, oh, he's getting just Dark Rand was interesting. But then we had probably I talked about my two heartbreaking moments. This was very emotionally touching when the Tam Rand reunion. You know, Tam had been with Perrin. I was like not expecting that whatsoever. I did not realize that that's who they were talking about when they said that they needed someone who was with Perrin. Did not realize that was the person. Great surprise though. Loved their interaction. At the beginning, I'm just like, you know, it was the right amount of awkward, and then like, oh, you have this wisdom from Tam. He used that quote that I'm guarantee it was in the first book. I guarantee it. It's not what you do, but why you do it. In relation to the last battle is what Tam said it to Rand, and I just love that they like carried that wisdom forward like from the first book, because I remember reading that in the first book being like, oh, that's some good advice. Bringing that forward, it was even better. And just Tam like really doesn't have that many speaking lines, but he is just so wise, like just so wise. But then he had to mention Cadswain, and I was so scared for Tam, for Rand, for just what was about to happen. I was just so filled with fear that like I it would have broke my heart if that had happened. If Rand had killed Tam, that would have like destroyed me. And he was so close to doing it. And then Luce Theron, when he said, I even wrote it down. As soon as he said it, I wrote it down because I was like, that. Luce Theron goes, nothing I haven't done before. It that like, if that didn't show the cycle of the madness leading to the people, like killing the people that they love, that was just like, because Luce Theron obviously with Elena, I was just like, wow. And luckily Rand snapped out of it, got the heck out of there. And I like that Tam was upset about it too. But I just then Rand went to Dragonmount, and let me actually say, okay, so earlier in the book, Rand said that he gave that little spiel about Dragonmount, and he's talking about how no explorers go there because like as soon as they they know that it's the last place that they'll go, because once you get up there, that's a life's trip right there, that you're not going to survive coming down, like it's just such an exhausting trip. I thought that it was when Rand got up there, when he went to Dragonmount, I'm like, oh, they're gonna harken back to that speech, and he's gonna like kind of realize, like, he just becomes so depressed about the fact that he knew that he was gonna die, that he was going to like, it was gonna click for him, like, hey, I'm gonna see this thing that nobody's ever seen before and live to talk about it. And I thought that was gonna be like a really cool moment. It's a great like foreshadowing that happened and everything. That's not what happened. It's not what happened at all. What happened was probably better, but I just thought, I was like, I think that my thing's cool. Comment down below if you think that my thing is cool. But just, I feel like it would have tied back. Obviously, him just going to Dragonmount, regardless, was cool. But I just think him realizing that, oh, I'm doing this thing that nobody had ever done and survived. Like, that's, I have this like kind of this kind of extra credit, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, what happened instead? I thought that was great. He said that he's not going to hear Luce Theron's voice anymore. I'm pretty, as much as I love Luce Theron, like, I mean, Luce Theron, freaking crazy, but I love the guy. I think that this is going to work out pretty good for Rand. I'm excited to see where this goes. And then kind of the last thing I'm going to say is, who the heck does Tuon think she is? Like, just saying, you are actually talking to Rand, like, oh, you're going to be like going below me, like that's how this is gonna work. That's what our prophecies say. I'm like, what? That's where have you been? Like, this is not, you shouldn't be talking to the dragon like this. I was just so confused, and now she's like the empress, and I'm just like, we'll see where that goes. The San-Chan are some crazy people with some very, very horrible practices. Anyway, this review's getting a little long, so I'll end it here. I loved this book. I thought that Brandon Sanderson did a great job. Yeah, just phenomenal. If you disagreed with anything I said in this review, please leave a comment down below. But if you enjoyed the review, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.